The Washington Commanders take Oregon offensive tackle Josh Conerly Jr. with the 29th pick in the NFL draft, beefing up the protection for franchise quarterback Jayden Daniels. The Commanders, again, this draft was they drafted him on Thursday, okay? I know the draft, if I'm not mistaken, is multiple nights, but they drafted him on Thursday, number 29. Was that day one of the draft? I'm kind of curious now. When was the NFL draft? Okay. The annual NFL draft got underway Thursday and ran until Saturday. Okay, so he gets drafted on in opening day, right? So the first round. Audible cheers could be heard inside the team facility before the pick was announced, in person at the draft, and the draft was in Green Bay. General Manager Adam Peters said he and his staff were holding their breath, hoping Conerly, clearly the highest player on our board, would still be there. Everybody was just really pumped to get him, Peters said. He's really the total package. You look at the tape and you see what an incredible athlete he is. Just great feet, great lower body structure, super talented for a big man. Taking Conerly upgrades the line in front of Daniels, who was sacked 3 times in the NFC title game loss to eventual Super Bowl champion Philadelphia. It's the latest upgrade building around Daniels, and Peters acquired standout left tackle Laramie Tunzel from Houston and traded for wide receiver Deebo Samuel. So they're getting all bulked up over there on the Commanders, right? And yeah, they were one win away right here from going to the Super Bowl. And they got smoked by the champion, the Eagles there. You see that? 55-23. So that was a pretty good season for them. But I want to get into these connections. And there's going to be a lot of political connections with a Washington Commanders draft pick. Okay. Oh, wrong way. Let me go the right way here. So let's go like that. And we'll start over like that. Okay, look. So right away you see Oregon Ducks 165 and 57 in the language. This is Josh Conerly Jr. out of Oregon. Look at that, 165 and 57, just like Commanders. 165 and 57, right? This is the NFL team that drafted him out of Oregon, the Oregon Ducks, right? So you see that connection right there. And he goes to the Commanders. His last name is Conerly. So you get C and you get C. And the owner of the Commanders, his name is also Josh Harris. Okay? And again, this draft, the Commanders take Josh Conerly Jr. So you get 2 Joshes. And, you get that Kamala Harris connection as well, right? Because the Commanders' controlling owner, Josh Harris, right? Like Kamala Harris. And this is the Washington Chiefs, right? think about Washington. You think about DC, right? Okay, right? Washington, DC. And you have the state, obviously, the state of Washington. But as the seat of the U.S. federal government, the city is an important world political capital. The city hosts buildings that house federal government headquarters, including the White House, U.S. Capitol, Supreme Court building, and multiple federal departments and agencies, right? So you get this Washington, D.C. connection, right? Kamala Harris, attorney and former vice president of the United States. She came, she obviously lost to Donald Trump in the 2024 selection, right? But you get that Harris connection, you get this political connection, you get the Oregon Ducks connecting with the Commanders. It's not a coincidence that Josh Conerly Jr. is out of Seattle, Washington, okay? And he's drafted by the Washington Commanders, right? Where do the Commanders play? Where do the Commanders play? Northwest Stadium, in an American football stadium in Prince George's County, Maryland, United States, located 5 miles east of Washington, D.C. Okay? So you get Washington, D.C. with the Washington Commanders. And of course, their draft pick is out of the state of Washington, right? Notice how he has the November 5th birthday. That was the presidential selection date. November 5th was their draft pick's birthday. Can you believe that? Right? And again, this is Josh Conerly Jr., pick number 29 by the Commanders out of Oregon, offensive tackle. Here, okay, you see age 21. But I mean, are you kidding me? He also shares a birthday with this last date with the selection. And Josh equals 56. And that last birthday, November 5th, left 56 days in the year. And again, Josh connects with the owner, controlling owner, Josh Harris. Okay? So you see how that all lines up right there. Okie dokie, right? And look how close these numbers are. I just wanted to show you. So this character is drafted on the day leaving 251 days in the year. And he's an offensive tackle. Offensive tackle in the reverse cipher. Look, you get 252. So you just get one number higher. Washington 130 in ordinal. And dude's birthday, the 310th day of the year. So you get 251, 252, 130, and 310. So you get the same numbers with Washington and the day of the year of Josh Conerly's birthday. The same numbers just mixed up. And then again, offensive tackle 252, drafted on the day leaving 251 days in the year. And again, you get these similar numbers here, just all mixed up. This guy is 315 pounds, 315. Offensive tackle equals 153. NFL draft equals 135. So the same numbers just mixed up with a few different variations right there. You know there's a Donald Trump connection, right? We're talking Washington. We already had the Harris connection with Kamala, right? Josh Harris connected with Josh Conerly Jr. Trump equals 29 in reverse reduction. This guy's drafted 29th, okay? And even Conerly, you get 92 right there, which is the 29 reversed. He's out of Oregon, right? So he's out of Oregon. Right away, I knew, okay, I know Trump equals 88. I know Oregon equals 88. Okay. And you also get 25 with Trump in Oregon, 47 with Trump. Oregon's got the 74 right there. Remember, this is the Washington Commanders, right? And Trump is the current commander in chief. So you get the political connection. It's not a coincidence. Anytime you're dealing with the Washington Commanders, you're going to see these political numbers. Even Washington 130 right there. Remember, politics equals 113 and 103. Okay. So, and Donald John Trump is the full name. Even Donald's got 31, another 3 and another 1. But Donald John Trump 76. Look, it looks like this guy wore 76 at Oregon. All right. So that's it. I'm glad I got my coffee here. We'll scan the article real quick. I wonder how many other picks the Commanders had, too. Number 29. So I'll just scan. You know what? When's Jayden Daniels' birthday? Is it around this guy's birth? Don't tell me it's the same day. Jayden Daniels' birthday. Okay, he's got the December 18th birthday. So this is the star quarterback here. Jayden Daniels. Let's go back over here. Taking Conerly also comes after the division rival Giants selected edge rusher Abdul Carter with the third pick. Conerly and Oregon beat Carter in Penn State last season, and his performance in that game contributed to the Commanders valuing the 21-year-old. The way he competed against Abdul Carter, he went toe-to-toe with Abdul Carter, the best pass rusher in the draft. Peter said he played really well. Conerly started 14 games at left tackle for the Ducks. Remember, NFL equals 14 as well. He said it means the world to get a chance to play in front of Daniels and try to keep him upright. I'm looking forward to the opportunity just to get out there and block for one of the best, Conerly said. And this is here, let me show you him as I'm reading about him. There he is right there. So this is a 3-time AP All-America selection and first team All Big Ten. He could move to the right side after the Commanders in last month and should compete for a starting spot. Look at this error right here. After the Commanders in last month. So let's just see what other name all of the Washington Commanders draft picks. So that was their first pick at 29, I guess. They also drafted Trey Amos. Here, let me click on this right here. The Commanders drafted running back Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt as well. I wish they gave us a more simple list. Okay, there we go, right there. So they had a draft pick at 61 with Trey Amos. Look, they drafted a guy named Jalen Lane, and their quarterback's name is Jayden Daniels. And remember, Jayden Daniels has the 12/18 birthday. And Jalen Lane drafted number 128. You see that? And remember, Jayden Daniels with the December birthday, the Commanders finished with 12 victories as well. And they got another guy, look, Ja'Cory. So you got Jayden Daniels, the quarterback, already, right? For the Commanders. Look, Jalen Lane, Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. Notice how Krosky Merritt is he came out of Arizona for the Wildcats. Don't forget Jayden Daniels played college for ASU, the Sun Devils. Also LSU, right? But ASU, so you get this Arizona connection with this other draft pick here, as Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt played for the Wildcats. So we get some nice nice connections there. So okay, I guess I can go ahead and leave it at that. So 100% connected to politics here. I may do one more of these breakdowns on a character in the draft. This one popped up. I didn't seek this one out. This one just kind of popped up on the Associated Press, so I just snagged it up and I'm like, let me do the breakdown real quick. Yeah, I didn't seek this out. All right, and there's always more, but I can go ahead and leave it at that. So yeah, anytime you're dealing with the Washington Commanders, you're going to see a lot of these political connections. Even longtime owner before Harris said the name is here to stay. They're speaking of the Commander name after inheriting it when he and his group bought the team from longtime owner Dan Snyder. Don't forget, Dan Snyder was the longtime owner, and their quarterback now, Jayden Daniels. And Dan Quinn is their coach, head coach, Washington Commanders. You see that? Dan Quinn. And look, being hired as the 31st head coach in franchise history on 2/3. Remember, Donald equals 31 and 23. You see that on the fly? And look, he's already in the calculator right there. Donald equals 31 and 23. You see that? Dan is like Don, like Donald Trump. And again, like Jayden Daniels, the quarterback. 31st head coach in franchise history. Right there, hired on 2/3, 2/3 when Donald equals 31 and 23. Okay. Nice, undeniable connections for you. Right there. So Commanders take Oregon offensive tackle Josh Conerly Jr. Commanders C. Conerly C. with the 29th pick in the NFL draft. Shout out to y'all. Until next time.